Okay, folks, let's go through some of the basics here. So this video is for all the advanced topics people that are now in weight training, and I'm going to link it up with the independent fitness people as well. So here's just some basics on how the muscle looks, how it works. All right, we're going to get into some specific exercise throughout the next few weeks here, but we want to talk about how the basics of strength training are going to help. All right, work the exercises and everything. Okay, so to start, all right, we've got muscles all over the body. They are connected to bones. All right, they usually pass through a joint and are connected to bones with something called a tendon. All right, so the tissue that connects the bone, all right, to the connects the muscle to the bone is called a tendon. So if you have someone that you hear about, maybe an athlete that you heard about who tore a muscle, all right, maybe they have a torn bicep or a torn quad, all right, torn hamstring. That means that connective tissue tore from the bone, all right? So that's what gets repaired, all right? And that's why sometimes some of the people we watch on TV are out of action for a while because they tear their muscle. Either the muscle contracts too strong or the tendon was weak, whatever happens, it tears from the bone, all right, and that needs to get repaired. So a tendon is what's making that connection. But the muscle itself is I'm going to use my bicep a lot for examples, okay, because it's easier to show. But if I have my bicep, all right, where it connects with that tendon, all right, is up high on the shoulder or the upper arm here. And what it does is it passes down through a joint. Okay, so in this case, the bicep passes down through the elbow joint and connects on the forearm. All right, and when it contracts, all right, it's connected there, and it pulls towards, all right, one end. All right, so if it's connected to my forearm and it's contracting here, it's pulling my forearm up this way, okay? So think about those tendons, where they're connected. All right, bicep, all right, would be connected up here and down on the forearm. If I had something like a quadricep, all right, it might start high near my hip, go through the knee, all right, and then connect down on my shin, and it pulls this way. All right, as it pulls, all right, it kicks my leg out this way. The hamstring would be the opposite, where it goes through the knee and connects on the back, and it pulls it in this way, okay? All right, inside the muscle themselves, all right, is what we call muscle fibers. All right, the cells, they're called fibers. If you were to take my bicep and cut it right in half, all right, you'd see these little circles, tiny circles. Those are the muscle cells, and there's a bunch of them. In each muscle, all right, all those muscle fibers, when you want to contract, they all work together and they tighten, okay? And either they pull, or if they were just holding a weight, or if I had my weight like this, my bicep, again, if I wanted to pull, they would shorten, okay? Those muscles or those fibers would pull in towards each other, all right, and shorten. Or if I had another type of exercise, all right, I might just hold that tension, all right? Right now, my muscle is working. They're not shortening and lengthening, all right, but they are contracting to hold that weight. All right, this is a 10-pounder right here, so they're not working super hard. All right, but those muscles in the bicep are contracting, okay? As they contract, they have a full range of motion, all right, through each joint. So my elbow joint, all right, would allow, or my bicep muscle would allow my elbow joint to extend all the way down and then all the way up, okay? Think about range of motion a lot when you're doing exercises, whether it's a squat or a shoulder press or a bicep curl. We don't want to do halfway, right? You want to extend the joint, right? Well, your joint has a full range of motion. Your muscle would be a little bit less than that because we wouldn't want the joint to extend past, okay? And that's a lot of times how those muscles can get torn, as I was talking about a little while ago. So full range of motion for the exercise, not necessarily the joint. All right, my joint, full range of motion for my elbow might be way out here, but when I get to that point, there's a lot of strain on my elbow right here. So full range for a bicep curl might be to here where it's still comfortable, okay? The biggest thing would be if we had our cable machines and our dumbbells and our barbells would be going through the full range of motion safely, all right, and making sure we extend. So a big one for me, at school, we have the pull down. All right, you grab the bar and you pull it down. So a lot of times you'll see people pulling down and they'll just be pulling down to here. All right, they're using too much weight and not getting enough range of motion. Okay, so watch out for that as you are going through your exercises. So one of the examples I just mentioned about holding the weight. All right, this is called an isometric exercise. All right, if I were just to take a weight right here, my bicep is working. All right, that's an isometric exercise. And it's holding the resistance, the muscle is contracting, all right, but there's no shortening and lengthening. Some other examples might be a plank is very popular, a wall sit, all right, where you just sit with your butt against the wall and your back against the wall and you try to hold that. It's gonna be difficult on your legs, but there's no shortening and lengthening. So that's isometric. All right, on the other side of that would be what's called isotonic. All right, there's two versions of isotonic, but just so we're clear, isotonic is where there is shortening and lengthening. And what I'm talking about is the bicep curl. All right, my bicep is here. Remember, it passes through the elbow. It's pulling, and now the muscle is shortening. And as I go back, it is lengthening. Shortening and lengthening. If I were to do a chest press, okay, picture me doing a push-up or a chest press. My pectoral muscle is here. As I contract, the muscle is shortening. And as my arm goes back, it would be lengthening. All right, that's just another example of that. And again, as I mentioned, there's two versions. The most popular would be just a standard concentric, okay? Concentric is where you emphasize the actual shortening. So I'm focusing on my bicep curl and I'm doing a concentric exercise and I'm curling up and I'm letting it down. And I'm curling up and letting it down. So the hard part would be bringing the weight up or shortening the muscle. All right, so you're emphasizing on the shortening part. All right, the other side, it's not as popular, but you will see people do it, and you may want to try it yourself, would be eccentric. All right, it's also called a negative. All right, a negative would be re-emphasize the lengthening part. So again, bicep curl. I might even have someone help me with it, or if I'm doing with one arm, I could help myself. So I would use more weight, and I would lift the weight up and focus on shortening, and I'd take it really slow down like this. And if I was using more weight than a regular curl, I might need to use my other hand to help lift it up and then let it down. So this is a negative, also known as an eccentric, where my muscle's working really hard right here to keep it under control, to lengthen all the way back for the full range of motion. Okay, so those are some of the basics. All right, we're going to talk about metabolism coming up, weight loss, weight gain. We're going to talk about function in terms of why you might be strength training. And then we're going to go into those 12 muscles we talked about, the muscle anatomy. If you haven't done that yet, just fill that out. That should take you 10 minutes tops to find those muscles. Okay, till next time.